done this in some of the Disney parks, but now it's Universal's turn. I'm headed around this entire park to rank the rides from absolutely must-do to, well, you could probably skip that one. And before you ask, yes, I do have a Band-Aid on my face. I tried to duel a Death Eater. And keep in mind, before we get into the rankings, this is just the rides here at Islands of Adventure. So any of the character meet and greet experiences like the Marvel characters or meeting the Raptors in Jurassic Park, any of the shows, none of that is going to be included in this. This is simply just rides. I'm sorry to say it, Storm Force, but someone has to come in last, and that someone is you. Storm Force Acceleration is the teacups of Islands of Adventure. There's no height requirement, though it does say infants can't ride, which is confusing. But basically it's a spinner style attraction. The only real purpose for this is if you've got someone too short to ride Incredible Hulk or Amazing Spider-Man or Dr. Doom. But other than that, it's a pretty forgettable attraction and therefore sits low on this list. It does have Express Pass though, so if you do want to ride it, it probably won't have a long line, but in case it does, you can use that there. This is definitely a 1 on the Molly Must Ride scale. Almost at the bottom of the list, but not quite. We have the CAROUSEUSSEL, which is currently under refurbishment here at SEUSS Landing. Honestly, it's just a carousel, so that's why it ranks low on the list, because there are definitely more exciting and unique attractions you want to prioritize when you're in a theme park. But for me, I always like a carousel, especially CAROUSEUSSEL, because it's fun and whimsical, and it's really great for your little ones while the older kids are riding things. Over in Jurassic Park and Marvel and Harry Potter, your little ones can enjoy SEUSS Landing. For me, I actually like it more than the next attraction on this list, but because it's just a carousel, we're going to put it in the number 17 spot. Express Pass does work on the CAROUSEUSSEL, and on Molly's Must Ride list, I'm going to give it about a 2, 2.5. Unless you've got little ones, then that would bump up. The Cat in the Hat in SEUSS Landing. This is a classic dark ride where you'll go through the story of Cat in the Hat. It does have some spinning, so it has a low height requirement, but it's just not great. Like when you talk to Universal haters, this is what they are imagining. It needs an upgrade. The animatronics are nowhere near the level of Disney or even the animatronics that Universal uses elsewhere throughout the park. I think if it's got a low line and you've got little ones who love Dr. Seuss, it can be fun, but for the most people, this is not a skip. It's definitely not a must-do in my book, and it's even my least favorite attraction in this land. Cat in the Hat for me is probably a 2 on the must-ride list. It's definitely not a must-do for most people. It's kind of like you should watch it just to see what I'm talking about, but I think most people can skip it. Coming in at number 15, we have One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, also located in SEUSS Landing. This is a Dumbo-style spinner attraction where you will jump aboard one of the mini fish and spin around, but it's actually better in some ways than Dumbo, even though it's not as classic. There's actually a game. If you look down, your fish will be labeled as a 1 fish, a 2 fish, a red fish, or a blue fish, and you're supposed to listen to the rhyme that they tell you, and it'll tell you when to go up or down. If you listen to that, you will not get wet. If you don't listen to it, you will get wet by these little fish right there. So it actually makes it a little more fun and a little more desirable to ride if you've got older kids, as opposed to like Dumbo or one of those attractions that just spins round and round. This one, there's actually a little bit of a game to it. If your kids like getting wet, they can get wet. Of course, I try to avoid getting wet at all costs. So I do think this is a very cute attraction. The main reason it ranks so low is that it's still probably not a priority for most people when they visit, but it is a good no height requirement ride if you've got some little ones in your family. One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish is another 2 for me. I do think it's a cute attraction because of the little game, but I think most people can skip it when they are prioritizing big attractions in Harry Potter and Jurassic Park and other lands. Next up, we're looking to the sky at Dr. Doom Fearfall. This is a drop-style attraction similar to Tower of Terror, except for the fact that you're shooting upward, and that's the fun part, as opposed to the drop, because you shoot up really fast unexpectedly, and then you kind of drop slowly. It does provide some really nice views of Universal, and that one shoot up is very fun and exciting. However, it's certainly not worth waiting in a long line for. It does have Express Pass, so if you see it has a long line and you have Express, might as well use that. For me, it's about a 2.5 on the Molly Must Ride scale. It's fun, and I enjoy it when I ride, but definitely don't prioritize this one. Soaring into spot 13 on our list, Pteranodon Flyers, which is part of Camp Jurassic, the kids section in Jurassic Park. Literally, the only reason this attraction isn't higher is because I'm not allowed to ride it. Pteranodon Flyers is specifically designed for kids between 36 and 56 inches. If you're taller than that, you have to have a kid accompany you. So as a single adult, I do not meet said requirements, so I don't get to have the joy and the fun that those kids are having as they fly across Jurassic Park. Listen, here's the thing. I wish I could rank this lower, but one time, I got to ride this ride, and it was amazing. I wish I could tell you that it's not worth all the angst of not being able to ride it, but it's not. I mean, it is. Like, it was so fun. You get a great view of the entire land. It swings a lot more than you think it's going to. So I guess if you've got a kid you want to lend me so I can ride it again, that'd be great. But it is a really fun attraction. It's a 10 on the must-ride list, but maybe that's just the fact that I want what I can't have. Getting the top spot in SEUSS Landing, it's the High in the Sky Trolley Train Ride. Is that the right name? The High in the Sky SEUSS Trolley Train Ride. This is an attraction you've probably seen as you're walking around SEUSS Landing because it's the train ride that goes above your heads as you are, of course, high in the sky. It's actually based on one of the Dr. Seuss tales with the Sneetches, and if you're listening closely, you will hear them talk about that. But really, it's just a very cute attraction. It's mostly just a nice attraction. You're going to have some good views of Universal Orlando and SEUSS Landing in particular. I wouldn't wait too long for it. It does take Express Pass if you are using that. Overall, it's just a cute attraction. Is it the best attraction? No. But are you going to have a bad time? I don't think so. The High in the Sky SEUSS Trolley Train Ride is going to be a 2.5 on the must-do list as well. I think if you've got little ones or you are done with everything else or you're looking for something that doesn't have too long of a wait, it can be a really cute attraction. Flying into our number 11 spot, we've got Flight of the Hippogriff. This is the first of our Harry Potter attractions on this list. Flight of the Hippogriff is definitely more of a kids or family coaster than other attractions in this park. It has a 36-inch height requirement and it's a pretty short attraction. However, I actually really like this attraction, but then again, I'm a diehard Harry Potter fan. There's an incredible Buckbeak audio animatronic that if you're a Harry Potter fan too, you should ride it just to see that. This is a great one to test your kids on to see if they can handle riding a roller coaster, because if they can handle this, maybe you can bump them up to some of the other more intense coasters around Orlando. I would put it on level with maybe Seven Dwarfs Mine Train as far as intensity goes. I feel like people always compare it to the Barnstormer, but to me, it's more intense than that, so somewhere more along the lines of like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train again, or Slinky Dog Dash. Express Pass is taken here at Flight of the Hippogriff, so I definitely recommend using that if you plan to ride it. Otherwise, unless it's really busy, it should drop to a lower weight. It's also really fun to ride this one at night so you can see the castle all lit up. On the Molly Must Ride scale, for my Harry Potter fans, if there's not a long line, I would say a 5. For most your average guest, I would say this is probably about a 3. It's not a super long coaster. It's not a super intense ride. It's not anything unique like some of the other ones that are going to be in the top 10. So for most people, you can probably skip this one. But for my Harry Potter fans, ride it for Buckbeak. We've made it to the top 10 people, and kicking it off in gigantic proportions with Skull Island Reign of Kong. This is the new King Kong attraction that opened. Maybe you remember Kongfrontation, which is an opening day attraction at Universal, but now we've got Reign of Kong here at Islands of Adventure. This is one of those bus-style attractions similar to Fast and Furious Supercharged, where you're going to go on an adventure, on a tour, but things may go a little wrong. It's really cool at first because there's these big gates and you hear it going Kong, Kong, Kong. Then it becomes a simulator attraction with 3D goggles. Not my favorite personally, but you're gonna go on a little adventure, you're gonna see some dinosaurs, you're gonna see King Kong himself. But why this attraction is worth a ride, in my opinion, is the giant animatronic of King Kong at the end. It's an incredible animatronic, and if there's not too long of a line, it is worth riding just to see that. Skull Island does have Express Pass, so use that if you are purchasing it or it comes with one of your resorts. It can get a long line because these attractions tend to have a low load capacity. I wouldn't wait more than maybe 30-45 minutes for this one, depending on how busy it is. I rate this one like a 3.5 on the Molly Must Ride scale. I do enjoy it whenever I go on it. I use it and I'm having more fun than I think I'm going to when I go on it, but it's not one I would recommend prioritizing over some of the others on the list. Number 9 on our list, Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls. This is a water ride in Toon Lagoon, which you will get not just a little wet on, soaking, drenched, wet. It's themed after Dudley Do-Right. No, not the Brendan Fraser movie, the cartoons with like the Canadian Mountie, I think. I don't know. I don't know Dudley Do-Right, and I doubt that your kids do either, but that's the theme of this attraction. Now, I don't like water rides. We all know this if we watch my videos. I like hate getting wet on attractions, and you get sopping wet on this one. However, it is a very long attraction, and it can be fun if you do like water rides. I know a lot of people really enjoy this one. It is not a must-do for me. In fact, on the Molly must-do ranking, I'm going to give it a 0 because I hate getting wet. Look at that. You see how wet those people just got? But if you do like getting wet, maybe this is your favorite attraction here, and I don't want to tell you you're wrong. It has a 44-inch height requirement. It's a very intimate seating situation, so when you're sitting next to strangers, it's... but it's a nice long attraction. Like I said, it could use an update, like it could use a refurbishment, a coat of paint. I think this whole area could use a new theming, but it is fun, I guess, if you like a drop ride, so that's why it beat what it beat. But for me, no thank you. But maybe for you, you like getting wet. Following Dudley Do-Right, we've got the other water ride here in Toon Lagoon, Popeye and Bluto BILGE-RAT Barges. Popeye and Bluto BILGE-RAT Barges. Popeye, Bluto BILGE-RAT Barges. Say that 10 times fast. Unlike Dudley's, which is a Splash Mountain style log flume attraction, this is a round raft attraction similar to Cali River Rapids. Except for, unlike Cali River Rapids, where 1 or 2 people might walk off kind of dry, every person getting off this attraction is going to be completely and miserably soaking wet. Now, what I will say about this attraction, and you know how Cali River Rapids is my least favorite ride at Disney World. I actually like this one more than Cali River Rapids because it's, 1, a lot longer, 2, it is more fun. There are more drops and hills, and it actually has a little bit more thrill than Cali River Rapids, and 3, it is fun to be on there with a big group of people. Morgan, Breedlove, and I, and Quincy and I rode it once, and we had a really good time laughing hysterically to see who got the most wet. So it can be a lot of fun. It's just, for me, not worth getting wet, having wet socks and shoes and underpants all day. If you do want to ride it, my recommendation is last thing in the evening. It has a 42-inch height requirement. It usually doesn't have too long of a line, same thing as Dudley's, and it also takes Express Pass. Popeye and Bluto BILGE-RAT Barges, you already know, is a 0 on the Molly Rush Ride scale because I hate getting wet. But if I liked getting wet, I guess this would be like a 3. Coming in at number 7, this one might be a little bit of a hot take, but the Hogwarts Express. Now, some of you may be surprised that the Hogwarts Express ranks higher than some of the thrill rides in the park, but that's exactly why it ranks the way it does. This is the only Harry Potter ride that does not have a height requirement in either of the 2 sections. So because of that, it does get some bonus points for me, because if you've got little ones who love Harry Potter, this is the only actual ride they'll be able to do. Of course, they can enjoy the wand magic, they can enjoy the shops, they can enjoy just being in the lands, which is some of my favorite things about it, but as far as rides go, this is your only family Harry Potter attraction. And it really is a great attraction. I, for one, really enjoy it. I find it very soothing and relaxing and fun to look out the window and see which characters I'm going to see. It's different when you go from Hogsmeade to Diagon Alley and Diagon Alley to Hogsmeade. You're going to see different characters out the window. One important thing to note is that you do need a park-to-park ticket to ride this attraction because this serves as a mode of transportation between the 2 theme parks. So you are going to need to scan your ticket before you get on the attraction to make sure you can get off in the other park. Now, you can, of course, walk between the 2 much faster, especially on a busy day, so I wouldn't recommend waiting too long for this attraction if you're not a diehard Harry Potter fan. But if you are a diehard Harry Potter fan, do try to ride the train if you can. It's just a quintessential moment in the Harry Potter movies, and I really enjoy it. For me, as a Harry Potter fan, it's a 5 on the must-ride scale. For most people, it's probably more like a 4, and it does take Universal Express Pass. Webbing its way into the next spot? Does that even make sense? Probably not. The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. Now, this is when you're going to go with Peter Parker on an adventure as you join the Daily Bugle as a new reporter, and you're going to be driving in the Hollywood Scoop, trying to help him stop some of the baddies. Now, this is not based on MCU Peter Parker. This is based on comic book Spider-Man. So you are going to see a lot of the villains that you're familiar with, and you're going to try and stop them from stealing the Statue of Liberty. So this one can be very, very fun. A lot of people love this attraction. It is a 3D simulator, so it does tend to make some people a little bit nauseous, so beware of that. But it's very popular. We'll get long lines. Use that Express Pass if you have it. I really enjoy Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, but it does also make me nauseous. So it's about a 3.5 on the Molly Must Ride scale, but for most people it's probably about a 4. kicking off the top 5, we are back into Jurassic Park with Jurassic Park River Adventure. Jurassic Park River Adventure is a boat ride where you are going to go explore Jurassic Park on a nice, calm dinosaur tour where nothing is going to go wrong. Except for if you've seen any Jurassic Park movies, you know I'm lying, because of course everything's going to go wrong when you get diverted from the nice omnivore water pond over to where the predators are and come face to face with the velociraptors as well as a gigantic T-Rex. Now, you know this attraction has to be good if it's a water ride, and I'm putting it in the top 5 because I hate water rides. But this is an awesome, awesome attraction that the whole family can enjoy. Well, at least anyone in the family over 42 inches. Jurassic Park River Adventure is included on Express Pass. However, it usually doesn't have too long of a line compared to other rides in the park. You are definitely going to get more wet in the front rows. I've sat in the back and I don't get too wet, but you will get more wet usually than, say, Splash Mountain. Not as wet as the other water rides in this park. But it's a really fun attraction, especially if you're a Jurassic Park fan. There's an iconic moment when you go towards the big gates and they open up and that beautiful John Williams score begins. So for me, this is a must ride on a perfect day in Islands of Adventure, and I think it's almost underrated at this point. So let me know what you think of this one in the comments. For me, Jurassic Park River Adventure is a 5 on the Molly Must Ride scale, which is high praise because, again, I hate getting wet on rides, but I'll do it for Jurassic Park. Coming in at 4th place, just missing the metal platform, is the Incredible Hulk coaster. The Incredible Hulk coaster does live up to its name, and it is truly incredible. It is a super fun coaster if you are a coaster fan. One, it has an incredible launch out of this gamma radiation tube that you barely expect. It's got 7 inversions. It has a rockin' soundtrack, and it is just a great time. Truly, this is one of the best coasters in Universal Orlando. It's been around for a while, and it still holds up. It is a must-do for my coaster fans. Doesn't matter if you have no idea who the Incredible Hulk is, it's just a really good coaster. It has a 54-inch height requirement. It does have Express Pass in case you have that. It also has a single rider queue. It can get very, very popular, as you can imagine, very long lines, so prioritize this one in the morning if this is a must-do for you. It's another one that can close because of weather since it's all outside, so during the summer, you want to make sure you keep an eye on those pesky summer storms in the afternoon. But if you like roller coasters, if you are in for an intense ride, the Hulk is awesome. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Now, this is the attraction inside Hogwarts Castle, and it is a pretty incredible attraction for multiple reasons. First of all, for my Harry Potter fans, I always say that this isn't the best Harry Potter ride, but it's certainly the most Harry Potter ride. Not only do you start in this incredible queue that weaves you through the dungeons and the herbology classroom, it leads you into the Gryffindor common room and Dumbledore's office, so there's incredible Easter eggs and details to look at as you go through in the queue. But the attraction itself takes you into some of the most iconic scenes and moments of the Harry Potter universe. I'm talking the Chamber of Secrets, I'm talking Quidditch, I'm talking dragons, I'm talking the Forbidden Forest, Dementors. It is so many moments that you love from these books and films come to life around you. Now, the other incredible thing about this attraction is the technology. They developed a brand new ride system for this attraction, kind of puts you on an octopus arm style attraction. You're going to be sitting in a bench-like seat, and then you are flipped around as you go through a mix of real-life sets and screens. Because of this, it makes some people, yours truly included, incredibly nauseous. I absolutely love it from a Harry Potter nerd standpoint, and the technology is pretty incredible as well, putting it again in the 3rd spot. Coming in at number 2, our silver medal winner. Oh my gosh, look at it. It's the newest ride at Universal Orlando, Jurassic World VELOCICOASTER. This coaster is amazing. It's easily the best coaster I've ever been on. It's got 2 different launches. It goes up to 70 miles an hour, hits a top peak of 155 feet tall, an 80-degree drop. It is so much fun. And we haven't even talked about the queue and those incredible realistic raptors that you're going to encounter. And it is such a fun coaster. It is not for the faint of heart. It has a 51-inch height requirement, and I'm not kidding y'all. This is the most fun coaster I've ever been on. I screamed, I laughed. It is amazing. Jurassic World VELOCICOASTER is not part of Express Pass. It can have some technical difficulties because it is such an exciting attraction, and it will close for rain, so just like other ones on the list, make sure you get this one out of the way, especially in the summer when it's likely to rain in the evening. But your best bet for riding this one without too long of a line is to come earlier in the morning or last thing at night if you're willing to risk it closing for the rain. It does have a single rider line, however, I highly recommend not using it. Not only does it go very slow, often slower than the actual attraction entrance, but you're gonna miss out on the raptors, which are hands down the best queue I've ever been to is this attraction. You don't want to miss the raptors. This is a 5 on the Molly Must Ride list, and honestly, if you put this in the top spot, I wouldn't blame you. This is an incredible attraction, and if you're a coaster fan, if you're a Jurassic fan, you absolutely have to check this one out. Which means in our number 1 spot, the gold medal winner, the best attraction in Universal Islands of Adventure, HAGRID'S Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM. Are you surprised? This incredible coaster is one of the best rides I've ever been on. It's my all-time favorite ride of all time in any theme park, and even friends of mine that don't like Harry Potter, why do I keep them in my life, have said this is one of their favorite rides ever. Hands down the favorite here at Universal Islands of Adventure. It's an absolute must ride. It is so much fun. Now, it is very popular. It can get a very long line. My recommendations would be to come very early in the morning. It does have a lot of technical difficulties, so it may shut down later in the afternoon. It also will close for inclement weather. So if you're coming during the summer, it's very smart to get it out of the way before those classic Florida thunderstorms every afternoon. It often does open for early park admission if you're staying as a Universal Resort guest, so I would recommend coming if you are taking advantage of that perk. It does not take Express Pass though, so keep that in mind. It does have a single rider line, however, it doesn't usually move much faster, if even faster at all than the regular line. It also has a very unusual seat because it's a motorcycle and a sidecar. Not everyone is going to be able to comfortably fit in this attraction seat, so make sure if you're worried about being comfortable, you come sit in this test seat before you get in line, so you don't waste a long time in line, only to find out that this isn't going to work out for you. But this is truly an amazing attraction. This is a must do attraction. It's absolutely phenomenal. This is a 5 on the Molly Must Ride scale. This is like a 15 on the Molly Must Ride scale. Thank you for following along in this journey as we count down from the meh to the best rides here at Universal's Islands of Adventure. We've got a list for you ranking these attractions, so just head to this website right here, sign up for a free newsletter that'll come straight to your inbox so you have it for the next time you're planning a visit. Did you think something else was ranked too high? Go fight for your favorites down in the comments. Also, let me know what you think really happened to my nose, because I'll never tell you. I'm Molly, and it's been magical.
Want to see more of my videos? Click over here. Want to subscribe? You can do that right here. And also, ring that notification bell to make sure you get instantly notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for following. See you real soon.